Just being closer to family and friends and having them be able to come out to all of my games. I think I'll probably fill a good section out of the field, and just being able to play and then see them afterwards versus having them fly to maybe one game. They can go to all of them. And I'm just happy to be home where I grew up, and the weather's great and the fans are amazing. So I'm excited.
So, like I said, you were announced a month ago. So, how far are you in regards of like training with the team already? Is the team training already? Where are you guys at as a team right now?
So all of us are slowly starting to move over this way to San Diego. I was also just home. I moved over like 3 days ago, so I'm still moving right now. But yeah, everyone's starting to funnel in, and then training on our own or training in small groups if we can meet up, and then we'll officially start February 1st. Yeah, and I've been just for the last month. I've been home in Monrovia with my family, and yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Nice. You'll be playing alongside Alex Morgan, who's considered a legend already for the women's national team and represents. It's one of the representative of women's soccer here in the U.S. You played against her at different levels. I mean, as far as I know, in the Olympics with the national team, with your team, and in the NSW in the NWSL, and so what do you foresee it will be like to play alongside with her? How is it going to be like?
I think she, as well as many other girls on the team, are a wealth of experience, and they've proved that they're some of the best players in not even this league, but in the world. So I think their experience will really help a new team like us. And I think we've also brought in a lot of key veteran players that aren't just on the U.S. team, but also Canada and Australia and England. So I think, and hopefully myself included with Mexico, I think we're going to have a pretty strong team for being a new team, and their experience just helps us so much. And I think even getting fans to come out to the games, her name alone helps us a lot as well.
Yeah, you mentioned that experience, and along with Alex, there's also Abby Dahlkemper. I hope I said her last name right. In defense, and so many others. So to find that identity, what has been the message of Casey Stoney in relation to what she and the club expect as a style of play for the team? I know you're barely just coming in, but I'm pretty sure you have heard something of what do they expect from you and the rest of the girls.
Yeah, I think she had mentioned that we're going to be a team that plays football, and I think you can tell by the girls that she's brought in. They're all very talented soccer players, and they play really good soccer. And then she also had mentioned that we're going to be a hardworking team, and it doesn't matter what your name is at the back of your jersey. Like, if you show up and play well, that's the most important thing. And I think that'll be really important for our team as well, just to be more collaborative and work together. And I think that will have us have a lot of success this year with that mentality. But yeah, those are like the two main things, and I'm sure we'll learn a little bit more as we start playing together as well, what our style is going to be.
So for me, as the media and where I work at, I have to be very critical about what the teams represent, especially San Diego and Los Angeles. And if I look around the league, there has been a decline in the number of Latina players. Your dad is from the U.S., your mom is from Mexico, and I will have to say that you're probably the only representation right now that there is for that Latino side, for that population of Latinos, for the cities. As far as I'm concerned, how do you think this is happening? Why is the number going? Why is the number going down? And what might be causing it? What do you think?
I think it's also not a bad thing, but I think that the Mexican League right now is doing really well, and they're paying their players well. They're taking care of them. The fans are amazing in the Mexican League. So I think that those girls that have gone over are wanting to stay because of how it's going. For me, I've also considered that I'd love to go play in Mexico one day. This opportunity to be home is important, but I think that really shows probably the biggest decrease is that the girls who are Hispanic are staying in the Mexican League, which is fine. But I think there's also a few people. Maria Sanchez is coming back to Houston, and I'll be in California, but there are people spread out, and I hope that I can be hopefully someone that the girls that are here can see and look up to and want to play in the US League. But I think there's talent young, and hopefully that'll show too.
So would you want, I'm pretty sure you will, but would like to hear from you. I'm pretty sure you would like to see more Latina involvement here, even though they're doing so well, to maybe find some local players that are already looking out for these teams.
Absolutely. And I hope that I can be that person who can maybe be the connector for that, especially since I'm here. I'd love to just work with the community and hopefully be that face and have those conversations to encourage young girls to play in the NWSL, especially in San Diego.
So U.S. Women's soccer is recognized internationally as one of the best, if not the best, for many years. This is a country in which really the soccer culture isn't completely there yet. It's really young. When you compare the results with that of the national team of Mexico, in which that soccer culture runs in deep, really deep, why do you feel that it hasn't reached that high as the US?
I think it has to do with pay. And even now, and it always comes down to money and how they're going to support their players from the youth up. I think the US has a really good base for that. And even with the national team, they're getting paid much bigger dividends than I would say when I was with Mexico in the national team, which is fine. Well, it's not fine, but I think that really shows the level of girls that are playing. And I think when you're with the national team, you want to be on that team because it helps with that as well. Where I think it's a little bit behind with the pay and equality with Mexico. So I think it's weird though, because I wish I had the answer, but I don't. But I think that might be a reason why.
No, I appreciate that. And obviously we've seen what's been happening with the national team, the women national team, fighting for that, fighting for better pay, for equality and all of that. So how far, and I feel that they're very advanced in the talks, that they're very advanced in what they're asking for. How far is it in Mexico? How are they even, prepared to go and ask, or what is the situation compared to the US?
So I'm not sure. I don't have the answer to that. I know it's gotten better.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't have an answer to that, but I do think that it's improving. I just think it could be taking bigger steps, but I'm sure it's getting better and better as time goes on, especially with the league growing in Mexico too.
So I'm curious, you had the opportunity to choose between the US and Mexico, and obviously you have that dual nationality. And anybody could have thought that the easy way would have been just to pick the US. How was that to happen? How did that happen? How did you make that choice?
So I had picked up a few injuries out in college, and a teammate of mine, Tanya Samarisic, had joined the Mexican national team, the youth teams. So she had mentioned it to me and told me to try out, and I just loved my experience with Mexico. I felt deeper rooted with my culture, and it was just an amazing opportunity for me to play there. And my parents were really proud, and I've learned so much about myself and the community. So I think it wasn't, and I'm so happy I did. I learned so much. So I think that was the main thing for me, and I've loved it.
What was the reaction of your dad when you told him, I'm going for the Mexican national team?
He's super supportive. He loves the Mexican culture, and I think he was just happy that I'm pursuing my dreams. So I don't think it was like, oh, I don't want you to do that. He was really proud of me either way. And all my family is too.
Awesome. Your sister Isabel, she was very important for your development, I believe. How was that growing up? I mean, how do you get involved in soccer? How do you make this your career choice?
Yeah, so I did whatever my sister would do growing up. So she started playing soccer, and I wanted to be just like her. So whatever she did, I did. We were very competitive growing up. I think her and even my family, I've always been very competitive. So she kind of helped push me in that way. And now it's just nice to be, she's had a kid. So I'm like, I'm going to train that boy to be a great soccer player. I'm so excited. So yeah, it's nice to have her. And she's always pushed me to be just the best I can be in sports as a person, and love her.
I had one more question about the national team of Mexico. I know the next World Cup is in 2023. Mexico didn't qualify for 2019, if I'm not mistaken. So, but I think the options are better to qualify for this next event, and it's going to be a long way. How do you see that Mexican team on their way to the World Cup?
I mean, I think we can do it. I think I don't know if they beat Canada in a friendly recently, and they just won gold medal. So I think there's improvement. I think that there's a lot of young players showing up, and I think Monica's doing a great job bringing in young players that are willing to just put in the work. So I think we have a very good chance this year for qualifiers.
Now, going back, you also have a passion for social media. Your Instagram is a way for your fans to kind of like know more of you. It's a very well balanced page. I mean, you have work, you have life, you have things you like. So talk to me a little bit about that, like how important it is for you to have that connection with your fans through social media like that.
Yeah, I do get that a bit. I like to consider myself a creative and artistic and more than just a soccer player. So I do like to show some like creative and different sides of me, not just the soccer. And I try to keep it light, and if people like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. It's more just because I like to post stuff. So yeah, I guess it's just a way to kind of share a little bit more about myself. Yeah.
So you're at an age right now that you're probably going through the best moment of your career as a soccer player, and it's very early to talk about retirement. But would you continue? Have you ever thought about continuing in soccer or flipping houses? Because I heard that you also kind of like that.
I think I could do both, to be honest. And especially now that I'm here, I've been studying for my real estate license in California. So I think that could be like the first step to going forward, and maybe starting some projects. I've always said I want to buy property in Mexico, maybe. So I don't know. I always have an idea of some sort, but I definitely have a passion for that. I don't know when I'll retire. We'll see how long my body holds up and my knees, but if I can play as long as I can, I will. But I definitely have some other passions, and homes and flipping would be a really cool and exciting project, I think, for me to do once in my life.
So you'll be more involved into the design of the house inside, or that?
I would, yeah, I'd prefer to do more of the design aspect. Okay. But I don't know. It'd have to be kind of just a practice or trial run, and we'll see. I'm open to it all. So if anyone knows anyone, I'd love to watch.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. I know you're probably going to be more busy later on, but we really appreciate it. And if you want to send like a last message for the people that are watching this, or an invitation to go watch you guys when the season starts.
Yeah, everyone come to San Diego Wave soccer game. We're really excited to see you. And I'm really looking forward to hopefully working with the community and being just a connection for Hispanic girls. And yeah, I'm excited for this year.